everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome to another episode of OrgelCraft. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Last episode, we finished up our storage system. I still have not gotten around to any kind of sorting, but that's something I'm just going to be working on my own, maybe on streams, but just starting to get everything assembled in here. But today I have a couple of big projects that I want to work on, and then maybe a few smaller projects. And one of the big projects has to do with the area we are currently flying through, which is our 2 hangars that we have. And so I'm thinking about finishing up the final entrance to our storage system there, and it's going to be something that we fly into. And so one of the things that I want to do is I want to get some work done on the hangar bays. So finishing up the edge of this, and then filling in the walls of that. Possibly doing the walls of this hangar, and then working with this opening that we have here. Yeah, so that's one of the things I want to work on. I currently do not have all the materials I need for that, so we'll need to do a little bit of resource gathering. The other big project is out here, and that is finishing up this tree farm. So I set this up a long time ago as a way to be, passively having trees grow so that I could farm wood as I needed it. And then in the last 2 episodes, I went through and completely removed most of my wood supplies. As you can see, I'm slowly starting to rebuild those supplies after all of the thousands and thousands of chests that I needed for the storage system. But I want to make this room a little bit more effective and efficient, and I also want to enclose it and all of that. So this is where I want to start working, and one of the things that I think I'm going to do, first of all, I learned from the flooring of the storage system that I want to actually put the lighting a block lower, and then we'll put these trapdoors even with the floor, so that I'm not constantly going up and down, but so that I also don't have the squishy frog light sound when I walk over top of the floor. So that's one of the things that we're going to do. But I'm trying to optimize the space, and I've done some testing in Creative just to see how large some of the trees grow. Because in some cases, with the 2x2 trees, there are issues. They check for certain room to grow. And like spruce trees will grow just fine on their own. But you do have to leave a certain amount of space, so that they grow in the right order. And I do want to test that a little bit to see if there's a way that I can plant an entire row of 2x2 spruce trees. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. The growing platforms that I have are 64 blocks long here. But yeah, spruce is not a big deal. Dark oak is okay. You need a little bit of room in between. Jungle is difficult because jungle trees, when it checks for growth, they check vines. And so a lot of times vines will prevent jungle trees from growing. So I need to make sure that I have enough space so that basically whenever I plop saplings down, they will be guaranteed to grow. And then I also need to figure out mangrove as well. So the first 3 rows that I lost something. And now I'm stuck. The first 3 rows that I have over here are for my trees that grow pretty easily on their own. They are just single block wide trees. And so that's our birch, our oak, and our acacia. So what I actually want to do here, so that I can free up some more space, is I want to basically set up 3 layers. So we'll have the first layer for oak, and that will help because then that will prevent the tall oak trees from growing. And then we'll have a layer of birch, and then we'll put acacia on top. I think I have enough height for that. I hope I have enough height for that. If I don't, that's okay. We can just leave it at 2. But that'll make it a little bit easier to work with. Yeah, and then just do some reconfiguring on the others. Basically, what I want to avoid is I want to avoid different leaf types growing together, because then it's kind of annoying. You know, if you're farming acacia leaves and then later along I come into birch and then I'm getting acacia saplings dropping. So trying to keep all the trees separate just to make things more efficient. And then I also want to get a little system set up here for allays to be able to collect things as well. And I don't know if I'm going to do one for every tree type, or yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that. So yeah, let me do a little bit of work in this area, and I will bring you guys back when we have the tree farm going. Behold the tree farm. So my goal with this was to make it as compact and efficient as possible, and I made it bigger. So, you kind of see what we have going on here. Let's just jump into free cam to do this. So, over here, close to the hangar, I decided the most effective way to do this would be to stack oak, birch, and then acacia. They have similar areas that they grow in, and since they don't grow very tall, I thought it would be a good way to do that. And I think that works pretty well. I just realized I did not finish the floor over here, so I'm going to have to do that. The number of times I have torn apart this floor and put it back together, I could have just torn the whole thing down and started from scratch. But there was definitely a lot of trial and error in this process. But anyway, so we have these here. Then we have our spruce trees, and the way that I have done this, if you come down on the floor, you can see the difference between the deep slate. So what I do is go through and plant 1 stack of the spruce saplings on one of the 2 sets of blocks, so either the tiles or the polished. And then once those have all grown, I come back and place the other set, so you have a full complement, and then you can just basically go to the top and work back and forth to get all of the spruce logs. Then we have the dark oak. I found that 1 block of space in between still allowed all of them to grow naturally, so we have that. Jungle was an interesting one. So one of the challenges with jungle trees is that when you do the 2x2, they grow with vines, and they grow in an 18x18 area. Well, vines will actually prevent saplings from growing. And so I basically figured that if you wanted to have the 2 tall, or the 2x2, the tall jungle trees, you needed to have 16 blocks in between saplings. Well, in a 64 block space, I cannot talk today. You only got 4 trees, and I tested it in creative, and you can kind of push it a little bit and do smaller, but you weren't going to have great success. So I went through and I checked how many logs I would get from 4 tall trees. Then I went back and did just the single saplings and grew all of those up. I got I think it was 5.5 stacks of logs from 4 tall trees, and I got nearly 8 stacks of logs from just doing it this way. So we simplified the jungle trees and plopped them in here. Now, I'm realizing this now, and I'm not sure why I didn't stack them on top of the dark oak. Because I actually tried stacking the cherry trees on top of the dark oak. I could have put the jungle trees on top of the dark oak. I think it was because when I originally started, I had decided that I was going to do the tall ones. Yeah, I could have compacted that. It's too late now. I am not redoing this again. Yeah, so then we have mangrove. Mangrove was a bit of a challenge because mangrove grow in an 18 by 18 area, similar to the jungle trees. And they don't seem to be affected by vines nearly as much as the jungle trees did. But the problem is you get these roots. And so if you were to plant like a, just one strip of the propagules, the roots that grow will actually replace propagules that are in place. So I did a little bit of testing. The propagules grow in cardinal directions up to 6 blocks in any direction. So what I did was I came through and I put 7 blocks of space in between each of the dirt blocks in one row, just to give a little bit of cushion. My testing didn't give more than 6, but I wanted to be on the safe side. And then what I did was I staggered 2 more rows, so that I could have this as optimal as possible. And so I don't know the actual number that we have here, but yeah, so all of the propagules will grow without actually replacing each other, and then what you get is a nice big thick stand of the mangrove trees that you can then kind of carve your way through from top down, just like you do with the spruce trees. And then, since this had pushed all the way over under here, I went with the cherry trees, and of course these will actually just grow in a line. You might lose a little bit of wood and stuff that gets replaced, but fairly effective nonetheless. And these don't grow very high, so I figured I would just cap the ceiling here, and then would divide it up, and build the wall up from there. So you may also have noticed all of the glass panes, the many, many, many stacks of glass panes. What I'm planning to do is bring this all the way to the walls so that I can have a group of allays in every single set of trees that are just there, and then you don't have to worry about storing any of them, and I'll have ways to make sure that they can't get out. So then that way you can have allays gathering all of the things so that you can just come through here, plow your way through, not having to worry about picking things up as it goes, and get the allays to just bring you everything you need. So that is the tree farm. The next thing that I need to do is put walls and ceiling in here. So I think I'm going to look at my wall designs. I want something fairly simple because this is, let's see here. What's our floor level? Ow. So we're at Y41. Yeah, this room is 30 blocks tall. So, gonna need a lot of materials for the wall. And then, I'm going to need some elevators in different places, and I also want to do for the part where I have 3 tiers, I want to put some support columns that run through here so that we don't just have floating platforms. So I am going to get to work on getting that all finished up, and I'll bring you guys back when it's done. Hello there. As you can probably guess by the fact that I am standing here in the nether, next to a respawn anchor, completely naked with no levels, I died. So there's a little bit of a glitch. I need to refill that too. There's a little bit of a glitch going on with the end portal right now. I'm not entirely sure what it is. But so I was headed back to the end after gathering a whole bunch... No! Long walk ahead of me. So I was headed into the end after gathering some resources, and the game crashed on me. Fine, whatever, it's been doing that a little bit, and I discovered why. It's because I didn't have my memory set high enough when I upgraded to 1.20.4. So, so the game crashed. So I reloaded everything. When I logged back into the game, instead of ending up on the spawn platform for the... because the game crashed, I was teleported to the same coordinates in the end. So, you know, the middle of the void. Well, the game was lagging as it was loading in. I wasn't expecting to be falling through the void, and by the time I realized what was going on, I was already at negative 90 blocks. So, yeah, was not able to recover fast enough. So lost all of my gear, all of my tools, armor, levels. I really don't care about any of that. What annoys me about this is that I lost, I hope I can survive this fall. Oh yeah, we're fine. I lost, 6 shulker boxes of terracotta that I had spent about 45 minutes gathering. Here's all my gear. I guess we're just gonna take what we can get. I don't even have a helmet in here. Is there feather falling on this? Yes. Okay, well those are at least good. There's nothing enchanted on that. Let's grab a sword. Let's grab a silk touch pickaxe. Shovel. I don't want a silk axe. I don't have a choice at the moment. Alright. Where is... Oh, I don't have an ender chest. It's over here. Yeah, so, I lost all of my... resources that I had gathered. The problem with that, normally, I mean, yes, annoying to lose about 45 minutes worth of work. The problem is that my mining area in the, what else do I need? Let's see, bucket of water, torches. I probably don't have any torches. My mining area in the mesa is almost done and is to the point where it's going to need to be moved pretty soon. Yes, okay. So, yeah. It's probably going to be considerably more than an hour to gather all of those materials after I move my whole operation. So that's a little bit annoying. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time. Is that empty? Yes. All right, we'll take that with me as well. I do not have a ton of time left to finish this episode. So this little setback has probably cost me doing all the things I wanted to do today. But yeah, I guess we will see how it goes. So I'm going to get back to resource grinding and get back to building. Let's see, do I have any glowstone? I do not, unless it's in the lighting. Oh, look at that. There we go. All right, back to it. Gear and tools restored, resources reclaimed. Only took about 2 hours, but we are finally back in business. So now I can get about the process of actually building up the walls of the tree farm. It occurred to me as I was putting all this together, it's been a while since I've showed these off. I don't usually have them on camera too often. I'm not huge into naming my items in Minecraft, but my sword and my bow do have names, as you just saw there. My sword is named Revolute, which is the name of the sword of the first king of Arendelle from Frozen, so I have my connection there. And not to be outdone by Scar's hot guy bow, I named my bow after my favorite bow-wielding Avenger, Kate Bishop. So that is where the names of those weapons come from. So as you can see here, I have done a little bit of prep work of what I want this wall to look like, and I'm actually going to be replacing these fence posts with the wood of whatever is in the particular area. So yeah, I need to get this terracotta dyed and some of it glazed so that we can get this all finished. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll bring you back when it's finished. Our tree farm is finished. Minus all the allays that I need to get in here. Yeah, but everything is done. Everything, all of our different trees have been sectioned off. I decided I would just grow some cocoa beans here on the jungle trees. Probably do an actual farm for them later, but for the moment, we'll do that. Yeah, and so then I've got these little portals between all of the rooms. And then, yeah, I have chests for everything in each of the rooms. And these are down at both ends. I also went through and threw some crafting tables at the end of each of the rows, just in case I ever needed crafting benches. Yeah. And then if we go all the way over here and down to the end, have an ender chest here, and then we have a little bit of a water column there, which brings us up to the birch level, and if I hit this button, it will turn this into a column, which will bring me up here to the acacia level. And then this is also currently my only way in or out, is to come up here through the ceiling. But that is everything all finished, and I'm hoping that these water blocks are enough to keep the allays from going between levels. I tried doing a water column between the doors, and yeah, the allay flew right through it, like it wasn't even there. So, yeah. But yeah, so this project is done. If we fly up to the top, you can kind of see the ceiling. Just went very simple, gray concrete with a little bit of deep slate tiles, and then there's lighting tucked in between, but you can kind of see everything. It'll look better once I have Optifine working again, and we can do the connected glass textures. But yeah, that is all finished. And yeah, now I just need to get a whole bunch of allays in so that I have assistance when gathering things, but I will deal with that a little bit later. For right now, let's see, I probably can't fly out through here. Nope. For right now, I want to turn my attention to the other project for this episode, which is working on the entrance to the hangars. So I think what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to just finish building up these walls. Now, I think that I did these alternating between stone and andesite, and I think I'm actually going to keep that, and then we'll just add some other things. I also want to do a little bit down here on the edge, just to make it a little bit cleaner, and I think I'm going to just edge it with a little bit of cyan terracotta. So that is my plan for right now, so I'm going to get that all built up, and then I will bring you back, and we can work on the detailing the entrances to the different hangars. Welcome back, everyone. So the walls have been built. I haven't done any detailing on them yet. I've got some ideas for that. We'll work on that a little bit later. Yeah, but cleaned up the edge down there, have these support columns that kind of wrap underneath, and then some support along the top as well. I also went through and cleaned up so that we had some straighter lines in here, and it looks much better that way. So, yeah. So before we can go any farther, there's a couple of things that need to be done. One is I need to get the walls of that hangar built up, and then I also want to deal with sectioning this off so that it is all connected here, because right now we just have a little bit of a gap. So what I want to do is, let's actually go over to the center here. This will be a little bit easier to work from there. So we're going to bring this out one more block, because I have 3 blocks between this pillar and that support column there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that out one more, and then do glass there, and then we're going to do andesite. And then we're just going to stretch this all along the edge here. And then, once we have that in place, I'm going to work this from the bottom up, but I wanted to use this as kind of a guideline. So then what we're going to do is we'll come down here, and we're going to do sea lanterns, and then we're going to do a second row of the polished andesite, and then the rest of the way down is going to be the cyan terracotta, and we want to bring that out from here. I probably should have planned this a little better, but we will bring this out, and then I'll go through and replace that with stone once this is all done. But this is basically just mirroring what I've done on the sides, but then we'll build this all up so that it all lines up like that. And then, of course, we'll do the same thing over here. But then, yeah, so then we have, a little bit of a, delineation from where the hull ends, and we have this approximation of what a force field would look like that would keep the atmosphere inside the hangar, but that ships can still pass through. I thought about ways that we could possibly do an actual force field, but I don't think any of those are really practical. So, so this is what I have come up with, and then this is going to loop all the way around. Now, when we get over to this little platform that I have here, I think I'm going to just stop the glass here, somewhere around here, probably. Let's see, because if we have glass, I don't know, I might alter the hull just a little bit so that we can actually get this to work. But then I'm basically just going to stop and just transfer over to the polished andesite. So, yeah, so that is my plan. I'm going to get that built and looped all the way around, get everything connected. And then I'm going to start working on the walls of the auxiliary hangar, which are going to essentially be the same as this. I think I might compact the design a little bit. Instead of having these 3 wide columns, maybe just have them 1 block wide. But I kind of have to play around in the space and see what's going to look best. So, yeah, so let me get this finished, and I'll bring you back when that's done. Welcome back, everyone. The auxiliary hangar and the entrances are done. So it had been my hope to get this other hangar entrance finished over here. Unfortunately, I am running very short on materials and also short on time. So I think we are going to have to leave that for another episode, because I'm going to have to actually extend this hallway, and I have to figure out what I want to do design-wise. I don't know if I want to merge it into this hallway design or if I want to carry this forward, because I did want this to be open. So we will figure that out at a later date, but as you can see, this is all finished here. I went with just a simplified design from what I did over there. I didn't do any detailing on the walls. I haven't decided what I want to do about that. On one hand, I think I'd like to maybe go back and add it, and I think that would be fairly easy to do since this is nowhere near as big as the other hangar. But I'm also actually, having done this, toying with the idea of taking the detailing out of this one. I don't know. Thoughts? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Yeah, but as you can see, we've got all of the edges filled in, and, in an ideal world, this probably would have been flush, but it's not, and we're going to go with that. So, there's there, and then that all wraps around down here. Now, this over here, I need to play with a little bit, because not centered, and I'm not 100% sure why it's not centered. So, yeah, so I want to come and tweak that a little bit later, but it's fine for now. Yeah, and so I think that is everything. And yeah, I think that is going to do it for this episode. I've been really enjoying just flying back and forth through here now that we actually have a finished product in this area. Whoa. Oh, that's not good. Let's try this again. Land, then change camera angle. I completely lost my train of thought. I have absolutely no idea what I was about to say before I fell off the edge. So, yeah, that's lost to whatever. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, happy with the progress that has been made in this episode. I still need to get more TIE fighters in here. We also need to design a few more Rebel starships. I want to get an A-Wing, a Y-Wing, my favorite ship, which I haven't mentioned yet, or maybe I have, I don't know. I did want to come over here and knock off the tree farm. That's now done. So, I think next time we will... Oh! I can finish the auxiliary hangar. Hey, we can take that off the list. Yay. You know what we need to replace it with? We need to replace it with exterior detailing. I'm not dreading that project at all. I've only been putting it off for 30 episodes. And once again, lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I think next time we'll work on all of these little micro farms. And get those in, and then that'll probably be it for the farm building. I think from there, everything is just going to be starting to work on finishing off all of the various projects around here. I remembered what I was going to say! The farther along we get on this project, the more difficult it gets to move around the Star Destroyer. I used to be able to fly through a little gap there to get out of here, and yeah, I no longer have that option. I have to go all the way through the auxiliary hangar if I want to do that. Yeah, anyway, there is one more thing I want to do before we finish off this episode. On a live stream, we went and found the netherite upgrade smithing template. So, I want to upgrade one of my tools, and I think we will go ahead and do I think we'll get the sword up to date. So let's grab a smithing table, and I guess I'll just tuck that in right there. Actually, let's make this look nice. So let's do smithing table, that thing which I can't think of the name of it, and we will do our sword with netherite, and that is back up where it should be. So I'm just gonna tuck that away in there. I don't have... Well, I'm sure I have the diamonds for it. I don't have the netherite to go anymore. So, yeah, that is something we will have to work on in the future, but honestly, not overly fussed about that for right now. Guys, that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe, and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.